What is the most disturbing thing you found while snooping on your spouse's computer? My husband and I met about 6 years ago. We have been married for 1 year. When we met, I was very fit and athletic. I started gaining weight, however, after suffering 2 miscarriages and the loss of my mother to cancer. I was very depressed and barely got out of bed if I didn't go to work. I stopped exercising and instead started eating junk food. I gained 40 pounds in 2 years. During this time, my husband was very supportive and loving. I felt guilty and tried to give him an out several times, but instead, he proposed and we got married last summer. Since our marriage, I have been feeling much better and it showed. I have lost around 20 pounds so far and I gained back my abs. He was so happy to see me feeling better. On his computer, however, it was totally a different story. He was talking during our entire relationship with his ex-wife about me. His ex-wife left him about 7 to 8 years ago for her colleague. The relationship didn't work, however, and she tried to get back together with my husband. He had already met me, but they stayed friends, mostly via texting since she lived 12 hours away. My husband was complaining about everything about me. My job, my depression, my cooking, but mostly about my weight. He was telling her how disgusting I was to him, how he even found it hard to share the same bed since I snored like a dog. He even sent her pictures of me while sleeping. Sometimes in underwear with comments about my belly, double chin, back boobs, and so on. She found these pictures extremely amusing and she came up with the name White Whale. They both found it hilarious and now this was what they referred to me as. They don't flirt exactly or talk about being together. But they do say that they miss each other and they reminisce about the time they were married. She's more flirtatious and he really enjoys it. Whatever he's telling her isn't what I have experienced with him. I don't disgust him. He tells me that he loves me all the time. We have great and passionate intimacy. And he hates the few times we have to sleep apart. He's lying and I don't know why he's doing it. He's lying to one of us and I'm not sure if I want to know who he's lying to and why. I decided to get out of this marriage and leave this behind me. I'm acting like everything is normal, but I have started looking for a new job in another city and a place to rent. After I found out, I would occasionally check his phone. Maybe hoping that it was all a bad joke. He continued complaining anyhow and now he was telling her I was being distant and that he was tired of me. He even lied and told her I was gaining even more weight even though I wasn't. He told her we weren't intimate because he couldn't find it under the rolls of fat. A joke that she highly appreciated. I didn't spy after that, I got the confirmation I needed. In the meantime, he acted like a worried husband to me. He was concerned about me and asked if I was going through a new depression. He told me he loved me and that he was there for me. He did everything like previous times I had dips. Called from work, came home with takeouts from my favorite restaurants, did all the cleaning and washing around the house, baked fresh bread in the mornings, and asked me if I wanted to go for nighttime drives. How could anyone be so two-faced? I have a big sister who lives in another city. I told her that I was leaving my husband and that I was looking for jobs near her. I found a suitable job a walking distance away from her house, but the salary was not great. I didn't want to prolong my stay with him any longer and the decrease in income was a good sacrifice. It was time. I left him last Sunday. The night before, I prepared a nice dinner and screwed his brains out all night. It felt so good to hear him whispering how much he loved me and how lucky he was to have me. In the morning, I left the divorce papers and my attorney's number in the kitchen. When I got to my sister's house, I told her and the rest of my family about everything. I showed them all his conversations and the pictures he'd taken of me. They were all pissed at him. He had been calling and texting obsessively, but he didn't know where I moved to. He went to my parents, but they shunned him at the door and advised him to let me go. Maybe he knows now because he's been asking to explain and apologize. I don't care. All I've texted back is that if he wants to convey a message he could do it through my lawyer.